Hello and welcome to episode 6. We are your hosts, Becca and Carly, and we are going to give it to you straight, no sugar coated motherhood edition.
So I feel like today is a good place personally for me because it's something I'm experiencing at the moment of what it's like to be a working mom. Um, and even like we'll touch into how it's also difficult sometimes to be a stay-at-home mom. Like there's so much that goes into like either having to leave your baby or be home with them 24/7, and all these things that you don't really think of, and I don't think other people outside of motherhood could really understand.
Absolutely.
Um so let's just start with where I'm at right now. My baby is sick, and this isn't the first time she's sick.
Baby.
She's fine. She has a cough, like a little cold, but it still hurts my little heart. And I recently got a job working full time. And I just can't explain how difficult it is walking out the door knowing that I should be the one holding her. Like it's not like she needs much, but I feel like she needs mama's love. And now thankfully my nanny that I have at the moment is incredible, but it doesn't matter. It's just not me. So
It doesn't
like
replace
I
mom. You always need your
no,
mom, and I've said that always. To this day,
no,
I need my mom. You know what I mean? You
same.
sometimes just need your mom.
Same. And like it's so hard because I feel like I've gone through so many different emotions towards this in different chapters of Jewel's life this far, right? She's 14 months old, but at 6 months, I put her in daycare. And like that was hard, but I was only working full time. So the days were shorter, there were less days. But then I took her out of daycare and I was home a lot more, but then those days were so long and it was like stressful sometimes. But then financially, I was like, I need to go to work. I need to get a different job. I need to work full time. And making the decision to do that, while obviously it's in turn to help my family, it's really, really mentally, I like feel guilty. I feel
Yeah.
guilty that like I'm not there to take care of my child, and I,
Yeah.
I know that I'm not alone in feeling that. Like, it's
Not at
just, I don't
all.
know. It's so frustrating because it's just frustrating.
Yeah, and the mom guilt is real because like that we can make a whole episode on just mom guilt for any
Yeah.
reason because you literally feel like you're supposed to be constantly always there for that baby. Like that's your baby. You're supposed to be there all the
Yeah.
time, mentally, physically, like if it is if the baby's choking, you want to be the one doing it. If like to help her, like, if she's sick, you want to be the one holding her. If she needs to be fed, you're like I have to feed her. Like it's just like that internal pull,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe not everyone feels this way, and maybe I'm being hard on myself. But I feel like I'm letting her down by being here at work today and like having a boss in this day and age. I'm like, there's so many boss babes that are able to like work from home. And while I've worked in network marketing business for 7 years, I also worked my booty off for a degree.
Right.
And I got my master's not to stay home. I don't know if I want to stay home full time, but I want to know that when my child needs me, I have that flexibility. And
Right.
that's where the struggle lies for me, because like she'll get to an age where she is observant of the fact that like, wow, I don't feel good, I'm sick, I want mom, but mom's leaving, mom's going to work,
Yeah.
mom's dropping me off at daycare, and it's like, am I failing her? Like,
No, of course not. Of course not. Of course you're going to feel that way. But
right.
you're giving her something that maybe, and I don't speak for all, but maybe not all stay-at-home moms can do. Like my mom, for example, she stayed home with us and it was tight. Like I remember she never bought herself a new outfit. She never got her hair done, but she gave us everything we could want, but there were limits. And so it's like sometimes a choice where it's like, do I give her like the lifestyle, and you're still there for her. You're still there.
Yeah.
But it's like you're giving her a lifestyle to choose. Like, hey, we can pay for your college one day, maybe.
Right.
My parents were not able to do that. So it's just like, it's definitely a give or take. And especially in this day and age, we both live Long Island, New York. Like,
Mm,
it's rough out here. Okay.
that's
I
the
get it.
problem.
It's a
Yeah,
problem. It's a problem.
because
And also, you're a homeowner.
that's what I was going to say. Like, I feel like owning a home right now, especially on Long Island, if you're listening to this and you're from Long Island, you understand the rat race that it takes to like keep up. And not for nothing, like Justin and I didn't move into a starter home. We moved into a gorgeous home that we saw ourselves growing old in. And it financially, we are good, but now it's like, it's never enough.
No,
And
of course.
with the world that we live in, I mean, you used to be able to have one working income and a parent home or working part time. It's just not feasible if
I
you
know.
do want to save up while also living within your means. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like,
It
we're
does.
smart. We're not just like throwing our money away, but like I want to know we're setting ourselves up for the future, and that meant me working full time and not feeling the stress of the thought process that like I could be doing more. But
Right.
just, and I just think that goes into like, I mean, there's so many working moms out there,
Right.
and there's nothing like I almost feel like it depends who you talk to, but there's either this societal pressure that you should be the one taking care of your child, or like that you should be a working mom, like that,
Right.
almost that you're like, I don't know, I feel like I've had conversations where I feel judged either way.
Of course. Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, with motherhood in general, I've felt I'm getting judged if I do, judged if I don't.
Right.
Like, it's like, oh yeah, I'm starting her on purees. Oh, it's too early. Or it's, oh, you didn't start already. Like, every single thing can be judged for. Nobody knows your
Yeah.
specific situation. And I do want to say, I think it's smart that you guys bought a not starter home, because when we are not homeowners, but when we were looking at buying a house when I got pregnant, all the starter homes, it's like, there's people were saying there's no such thing as a starter home anymore. If you buy this house, you're going to get stuck here. And I didn't want that. So we rent. I will tell you, I probably pay the same rent that you pay for a mortgage.
Right.
I can confidently say that. But it's like the little things that we don't have to worry about sometimes help. It's like if our AC goes out, it's not my problem. You know, so it's like those kind of things are good. But granted, you still want to save, you
Yeah.
know?
No, house poor is definitely a thing.
Hmm.
House poor and baby poor. It's like those are two
Yeah.
things I didn't realize, and I'm like, well, it
Yep.
hit hard.
It's like I have a baby and she has like the nice top of the line stroller and crib and clothes.
Yeah.
But like we got nothing else left in us. But you know what's
Right.
so crazy too is like you were talking about your job and how you went to school, and like of course I went to school, I got my degree, I busted my butt for my degree, I paid off my student loans, like I did that. Like that's done. And I had a job that I loved so much. I was running an OBGYN urgent care. So I was with pregnant people with like, if you have a problem come up, you just come on in. Like, and I loved it. Like I can't even tell you, my day-to-day was fantastic. Was it tiring and exhausting? Yeah, but I absolutely loved what I did. It was like my baby. Like we opened that urgent care together, me and like my boss, and it was my baby, and everyone would always say, this is your baby, this is your baby, and it is. I absolutely loved it. And then I got pregnant and the reality hit that I knew, because I'm a planner, that I was going to have to make a decision. Am I going to go back to work at the job that I love and worked so hard for, or am I going to stay at home? And it's crazy because all my coworkers, a lot of them have kids. And I
Right.
don't think about it. They're working full time, and like you don't think about it until you're a mom. And you're like, wow.
Right.
How do you do this?
Right.
it was rough. So, ultimately
Well,
I decided to go back to work because I loved my job.
oh, you did go back.
Oh yeah, I went back to work. Yep.
Okay.
And
How old was Vienna at this point?
she was, oh my gosh, March, April, May, June, July. Oh, she was 5 months.
Okay.
So, during my maternity leave, I was like, let me become famous on TikTok. Let me, become famous on Instagram. Let me do everything I can. I'm going to be an influencer. I'm going to make money and I'm going to stay home. And that didn't
Gonna
work.
start a podcast.
Right. I'm like, that didn't work. So I went back to work. So August 5th, um, I went back to work and I got through my day and I was like, wait, this isn't so bad. I got it. The next morning I woke up and I literally was like, no, I can't do this. And I was just so upset and struggled through the day. And, Zach works from home. So the whole plan was he was going to watch her while he worked from home, which is another whole conversation. But I would get little notifications from the baby monitor, like cry detected. And I was like, what if he's on a meeting and he can't like go to her right now? And I just was like, this isn't going to work. So, uh, yeah, I ended up talking to my boss. I went part time, tried that for a little while. Then I went down to 2 days a week,
You're
and
like slowly dissolving.
I was slowly dissolving, and I had to give up. Ultimately, I had to make the decision to give up that job. And obviously, we both know like network marketing. I'm also doing network marketing, but I only just started in August because that was my literal plan Z. Because I was like, I will do anything to be able to stay home with her. So I went back to work. I signed up for network marketing, and 3 months later, since I was working like part time at that point, because I had pushed it down so far, I was able to actually replace the income, the part
That's
time income.
amazing.
Yeah. So I ended up having to give up my job, and it's hard. I think about it all the time. I loved that job, and I still go in every so often just to check on things because that's my baby. Like I opened
Yeah.
that office, and I loved it, but it's hard because I. It's not that people's opinions of me matter, but when they see me and they're like, "What do you do?" and I'm like, "I'm a stay-at-home mom," it's almost like they don't know. I have a degree. I have a business management and a marketing, and it's like they don't know that. They just look at me and think stay-at-home mom, and I know I shouldn't care about that, but it bothers me because it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, I had all of those things and I'm smart enough to realize that I wanted to be home. Like, and
Right.
no judgment to anyone who doesn't want to be home, but it's just like that's just the decision I made. It's
Which that's
tough.
amazing. And it's
Yeah,
nice that you had the option to make that decision. And like,
right.
yes, I feel like
But
there
not
is
everybody does have that option, and I get that.
right, but also a lot of people aren't willing to do whatever it takes. And I feel like even with network marketing, right? Both of us are obviously in network marketing, but in an unbiased way, it really is a means to be able to do that for so many people. So like if you're listening and like you haven't tried it and you maybe want to stay home, that's an avenue you can take and you can talk to either one of us because
Right,
we both will tell you exactly how to do that. Like
right.
it's at this point and like with all the
Yeah.
means to technology that we have
It's
along with
2025. It's more
right,
acceptable now too. It's just like, come
right.
on, like stop like hating on it. It's really it's really a good thing.
Exactly. Like these girls making so much money on TikTok, good for them. Like,
Yeah.
how can I do that too? I'm at
Yep.
the point I'm like, I'm gonna sell feet pics. Like,
Oh, I thought about it. Let me tell you, when I tell you that network marketing was my plan Z, I mean it. I mean it.
so you looked into
Oh,
Finder as
oh,
well?
we looked into everything. I don't have cute enough feet, but I was like, I'll do anything. We went through the budget. We thought maybe we'll move in with one of our parents. Like,
That's hysterical.
so it's crazy because what happened is I finally like I became a stay-at-home mom in November, and in December we got this new apartment. So we upsized apartments and got a new car. So it's just to show, that's just like a little example to show you like I literally quit my job, was doing network marketing, like brand new, and still able to do this. And
Right.
we save, we save it. That's from Zach's income that we save, but he works from home. So it's like we're both home every day with her. So it's like he's on a meeting, something important. And I'm like, I don't care that it's important. The baby's taking her first steps and he can still be there, sort of. So I know not everyone has that option, but like
Yeah.
it works out pretty well for us in that term. And I would hate to be personally at work and Zach call me
Oh,
and be like, she's taking her first steps, or like worse
no.
than that, my
I would
mother-in-law or
literally
my
never
mom.
leave my house again. I will not
Right.
miss another thing. I will. Nope. No.
Right, right. And I
Yeah. And
couldn't, I
I cut
couldn't.
you off, but yeah, mother
No,
in
you're
law,
right.
anyone, anyone,
You're right. And it's just
especially
like,
like not your husband.
right. And like, just not my husband. Like,
Oh
how,
no.
like, she said dada first before mama. So, like, no, I'm not missing out. So, I know there was something that happened where I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm quitting my job. Like, there was that something, but I can't remember what it was. Like, maybe, maybe she said a word when I wasn't there or something. And I just, yeah, I was like, oh, okay, done.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. There's so many avenues to be a stay-at-home mom, and like there's a lot of girls that I talk to, like women, if I'm like, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom, like, oh my god, I wish I could do that. Well, did you try anything to do that? But
Don't
also,
worry, guys. This is not a pitch to join us
right,
in
right. But
network
on the
marketing.
flip side, on the flip side of that though,
Yeah.
when someone's like, oh, you're a stay-at-home mom, I wish I could do that. I'm like, do you? Like it's actually so like a little crazy. It's like I'm stuck at home all day long. Everything I do has to be scheduled around my daughter. It's like I can't go to the bathroom for more than a minute or else she's screaming. I can't take a shower unless someone is there or she's taking a nap, which she takes
Right.
one nap a day. And it's just like I'm constantly, making her meals, feeding her. Oh, she doesn't like that. Got to make it again. And it's like, oh, she has to get a diaper change. She's fighting me for the diaper. Like it is nice. I don't regret it at all, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's hard. And like you tell people you're a stay-at-home mom and they look at you like, "Oh, it must be nice." And you're like, "Yeah, well, I have like, all these degrees and certifications and like it's don't just look at me like I'm like a you know 1920s homemaker who's never read a book." Like
But
so it's hard because it's like how do you tell somebody like when they ask what you do, I'm a stay-at-home mom but I actually
I mean,
own
the real
two
answer would
businesses.
be yeah, and the real answer, like, rather than like, being like, "Oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom," it's like, "Oh, well," and then you just, like, get into your full routine of the day. I wake up, I have to change a diaper before I even get to go pee. I usually
Right.
don't brush my teeth until 2 o'clock. I have to make
Mhm.
her food, her breakfast, give her water, give her milk. I don't get to drink my coffee until it gets hot and I microwave it 3 times. I usually don't even get dressed unless we have to run an errand, and when we have to run an errand, it's around her naps. Like, I could spiral
Yep.
here
Yes.
because I'm
No, but you're
like,
right. And then you got to take her out of the car. Like I have a small
so
business.
like,
I
do
have
you
to
want
run
the
to the post
long-winded or
office.
the short-winded answer of what I do?
Right. Right. And it's not that easy because it's like I do have a small business that's totally separate from all of this. And I get like I have to make things and package them and bring them to the post office. That is like my biggest thing that is a problem being a stay-at-home mom because it's like I have to load the baby into her car seat, get her in the car seat. Okay. Then we got to pull out of the garage. We got to drive down the street, literally drive down the street to the post office. Then I got to just get out of the car, get the baby out of the car. She's all frustrated now because I just put her in the car or she was just falling asleep like 3 minutes down the road. And I have to walk into the post office, say, here's my package because it's already pre-labeled, get back in the car and drive home. Like, do you know how frustrating that is?
Yes,
It
I
literally
do.
is a 30-second trip and I have to like lug the baby in. Like there's nothing that I can do by myself. So it's sometimes rough. So as soon as
Yeah.
Zach gets off work, he wants to decompress and I'm like, "Oh, here's the baby. I have to pee. Haven't peed all day." Like
Yeah. And it's hard because like you never want to fall into like I remember thinking knowing that both Justin and I would have to like work around one another. It's like I don't want to just throw her at you when you get
right,
home, vice
right.
versa. But like the reality is like you actually have to do that to maintain your own sanity and to get anything done. And it's not because like, oh, I had her all day, now it's your turn.
Yeah.
But it's like the only way to maybe find balance and to achieve like whatever the one thing you need to do is for that day.
Right.
Like, but I just want to touch on, because as you're talking about it, and like, as you're saying, when you say to people that you're a stay-at-home mom, and it's like, oh, I would love to do that. I remember
It's like, do you want to
when
see
I
the job description first?
literally, I
And the pay?
remember, and yeah, when I first went back to work, and like I had I have, I don't know, I guess mild anxiety. I don't know how I would categorize it. I guess it
Yeah.
depends on the day. But anyhow, I was so anxious leading up to it. Like the first,
Yeah.
every week that got closer, I was dreading it and dreading it. And then I have to be completely honest. My first day leaving was hard, but once I was there, I was
Easy.
I was good. Like it almost felt like a break, and not that I ever want to break from motherhood, but like I was Carly. I was, working
Yeah.
with patients. I was almost like back to what it was like for
Like
1 second.
pre-pregnancy.
Right.
Normal. It felt normal
And
to you.
yes, and so that's how I guess I rationalize like the feeling of leaving. Like it was okay once I got out the door, because like I really was okay at
Yeah.
work. And then I ended up disliking my job, because there's so many settings that you can work with in like OT, as you know. So I was with pediatrics, and that's just coming home to your own child with all the things. It was too much energy. It was too much
Yeah.
like running after them. So I'm back in with the older people, but I don't know. This feels different because it's like a 9 to 5. And like
Yeah.
when I was in pediatrics, it was 9 to 2:30, 3 o'clock, but I had breaks. And if a student was absent, I could go home. Like there's less flexibility. So while I also still feel, if like, I still feel like this is a break for me from being
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, because she's being taken care of. So like that was always a good thing, is like I know I don't have to worry about her because she's being taken care of. And I can like, I mean, granted, you know how jobs are, but like I can go to the bathroom when I want. I can eat when I want. I can like, it kind
Hear
of
your
felt
own
nice.
thoughts. I
Yeah, I was
literally sit
myself.
and I'm like, huh, there's silence. Like,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
it's like.
That's exactly right. And so I feel like that was like, it was really nice to be at work. It really was. I like I said, I love my job. So if you love your job, it's nice. It was just like that people kept saying it would get easier, and it didn't. Like cuz there was still those, like, leaving in the morning was the freaking worst. And then
Yeah.
coming home at night, she was getting ready for bed cuz I worked crazy hours, like 8 to 6, and it was like wild. So, she would wake up, and I'd have to like sneak out of the house, and then I'd come home and she'd be like getting ready for bed. And I'm like, okay, I like literally missed the whole day. So
Yeah.
like it just didn't get easier for me, but I know that there are people it does get easier for and they like it. And I miss it, of course, but
Yeah. I
I'm
don't know
like
if we can
sticking with it.
say. I don't know where I'm at right now. I don't know if it's easier or harder. I don't know if it's because she's sick. I don't know if it's because we're losing our nanny. She's moving
Uh
and we're going to have to put her in daycare. And then I don't know if it's because she's starting to do things, and she's going to be walking, and she's going to start talking and like randomly saying a sentence. And I don't know. I want to be there. So it's like I want to pick and choose when I could be a stay-at-home mom, and I want to pick and choose when I could be a working mom. But like that's
part-time, the part-time sounds like a pretty good deal, maybe. See, the
yeah.
part-time thing was really nice. It really was. But then I started to like dread the days that I wasn't off.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, I'm listening to my heart tell me like if you're dreading going into work, then it's probably
Yeah.
like whatever. But obviously everyone's different. So I don't know. You
Yeah,
have
I
to
mean, if
it's a
I could,
personal decision.
I guess in like my perfect world, if I could win the lottery right now, I would definitely not be working full time. Like that I can
Yeah.
confidently say.
Yeah.
I likely wouldn't even want to do part time. I would do, which
Per
I have an
diem.
option. I would do per diem in my field, because then it's like I could. come and go as I
say
choose.
yes or no if you
Right.
wanted to go in. I feel like that's such a good a thing as a per diem job like that. That's so great for moms, especially because it's like, you know what, no, I can't do today, my daughter's sick. Or
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you know
Exactly.
what, the in-laws have been asking to watch her, I can come in today. Like that's
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
perfect.
So we'll
There's
see.
no right decision, there really
Yeah.
isn't, and
I've
I
never
stick by that.
I've never played the lotto, but maybe I'll go today just to see.
Right, who knows,
Yeah.
good luck. I feel like a
Thanks.
lot of people, they would say, I used to laugh and say, if we win the lotto, you'll never see me again.
Yeah.
'Cause I like, not you, but, like, my coworkers, I would say,
Yeah.
like, "I love you," but I would be gone.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're there for the money. I mean, do you love your job? Or, like, maybe you don't, but do you do you love your job? Like, yes, I did, but I wouldn't do it for free, and so someone told me one time, and it stuck by me, because people would tell me, "Oh, I love my job. Would you do it for free?" And if the answer is no, then you don't really love it.
Right. Like I mother for free
Right,
and I
right,
love it.
right. I would do that for free, and I do.
I mean, I guess I can't quit that, but like it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Um
I mean,
but
listen, anything's possible, but yeah,
that's
I
true.
would say don't quit.
That's true. Yeah. That's a good line though, and it definitely like puts into perspective like what you're doing and the time that you're doing it for. And I don't
Yeah.
know, every day is really such a gift. And I think we are presented, for me, again, bringing in Justin's accident, right? There really is so much importance to being present and
Yeah.
present with my daughter, present with my family. So I just want to make sure that, like, I'm not in a place where like my happiness is now on the line and I'm coming home from a job depleted of that, because I want to be able to
Right.
still use those hours. But as I say this, actually, my issue with the whole 9 to 5, right, is your child's not up. Well, maybe your child as a listener is up late. My daughter, her bedtime, she's down by like, we start bedtime around 6:15. That gives me an hour when I get home to really, I mean, we start cooking dinner and like getting dinner ready for her at 5:20, 5:30. That like there's no time there. So like
Yeah.
that's where I think it's hard.
I know.
But
I
again,
know a lot of
I'm
people who do overnights, like nurses. I mean, obviously, we don't have that option.
yeah.
But like overnights, but isn't that difficult too? Because now you're up all night working, and then during the day you are expected to be like Miss Rachel personality, like to talk to your kid and be like, "Hey, good morning, let's play with blocks." Like, woohoo!
Yeah.
I just don't have that energy at 6 p.m. when it's winter and it's dark outside and I'm getting home from work.
Yeah, I guess it just goes back to like choosing your hard. And we all have to choose our hard. We all have to make like those decisions. But I think the most important thing that like I want to take away from this, and I hope other people do, is like really do what makes you happy, because but also like pay your bills. Like you
Oh
need to
yeah, you
find
have to
that
definitely pay your
happy
bills.
you have to find that happy medium, because like it really is so important to, if you, to just do what you want to be doing, to get rid of the outside noise and stress and pressure. And like if you want to be a working mom and you feel judged or you feel like it's difficult, like work with yourself and your partner, but like it's possible, and there's so many working moms. And then on the other end, like Becca said, like you literally go to exhibit Z as to like what can I do to stay home, because there are so many options, and like maybe try those out and give yourself a chance to see if it's possible as well.
Yeah. Or even like a work from home. If
Yeah.
you wanted to do that, those are available, and it sucks starting over and trying to get a new job, I'm sure, but work from home
Yeah.
is hard too because now you're both a working mom and a stay-at-home mom at the exact same time.
Yeah, I don't think I could do like a work from home. I just would get
Yeah.
nothing done. For me
Right.
personally, like
Right.
I that just wouldn't work. So power to the work from home moms,
It's
because
true.
I mean, that's a whole different level of badass.
Right. And once again, you and I are on the opposite
Yeah.
spectrum. Like we're giving two different perspectives here, which is
Yeah.
so interesting. But what you just said, I completely agree with. It's like put out the outside noise, think about what would make you happiest and do that. I mean, there are places you can work 1 day a week. There are places you can only, they'll take you on a Saturday. There are places you can work from home. You could try social media, you could try affiliate marketing, you could try network marketing, you could try reviewing stuff online and getting paid for that.
Yeah.
Like, there's just like so many options. So don't if you're unhappy, it's only going to get worse. If you're unhappy now, it's only going to get
Yeah.
worse. So like think about what you can do about it. And if you're a
Yeah.
working mom and people are judging you for that,
Nobody knows.
let them
Nobody
judge,
knows.
let them
Yeah.
judge. Cuz like when
Yeah.
they are not paying their bills and they can't send their kids to college, and the kid doesn't, I don't know. You're also showing your kids that like you're
Yeah.
not just you're not just mom. You're a
Yeah.
person. You're working. You're a boss babe. Like you said in the beginning, you're a
Well,
boss babe.
and it's funny because you said, I'm just connecting this, but you said your mom was home with you guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
back in
for me,
1990. Like, you know what I
right. But
mean?
for me, like my mom went back to work right away after having me. So like my
Yeah.
mom was working full time, and like even as I got older, like furthered her career. So like I've seen that. So I also feel like it makes me feel like sometimes that's what I should do. Like, so speaking of like the noise, it's even like the internal noise of like trying to
Yeah.
like do what I saw from my
Yeah.
incredibly amazing mother. I want to like follow those footsteps, but then also it's like, do I want to maybe break certain things? Do I want to stay home? Like, so
Right. Well,
it's a
things are
lot.
different too. You and I, when we grew up with stay-at-home moms or like working moms, it was, so different. I mean, my parents bought their house for like $100,000. Right. Right. Stabbed through the heart, like straight up. So it's just like a lot different, but it's interesting that you say that because now it makes me think. So my dad he was a fireman who was a police
Right.
officer first, but then he was a fireman in the city, and he wanted to retire early. That was his whole thing. And so he retired September 1st, 2001. Very interesting. Okay. So he was home with us growing up. And so both my mom as a stay-at-home mom and my dad, I had
Impeccable
both
timing.
I had both parents home. But yeah, it was impeccable timing with that
That's
because
honestly such a blessing. Wow.
yeah, so not to get into things too much, but after that moment of, him retiring and then September 11th happening 10 days later, I remember him being like, "Well, I'm still a fireman. I'm going to go into the city." And my mom was like, "No. You have two young girls. You're going to
Yeah.
stay right here." And so we did. So I had my dad home and my
Wow,
mom,
that's so nice.
which is crazy,
Like,
which is why like that almost feels like normal to me. Like, yes, Zach works from home, so he's working, and he has
yeah,
to travel sometimes. Fine, but Vienna has both parents home right now.
that's so crazy. That's amazing, honestly,
Mhm.
and a weird little
I
connection.
I never made that connection until you said that.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, and it's funny too because looking back now and thinking about my childhood, I mean, my parents were both such, and I'm not saying your parents or anyone else's parents aren't such hard workers because they're again home. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm
No,
just
I get it.
saying my parents were such hard workers and they were like kind of not always available for us in a sense that like if I was at school and I was sick, a lot of times like my neighbor or like a family friend would come and pick me up and like my parents couldn't, and not that that ever bothered me because that was my family, like I
Yeah,
never felt
it
not
takes a
taken care of.
village.
It does take a village, but like looking back, it's wild because like I'm kind of in that position where I'm like, well, we do have people listed when she goes to daycare that we
Yeah,
have to have for like contacts, and that I don't want. Like I want to be able to go and pick my child up if they're sick.
yeah.
So my parents
But you
did no
learned
wrong.
that work ethic from your parents, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, and I mean,
That's so funny that you say this because your parents worked hard and both had jobs, and my dad kind of like he worked a job, but he knew how the New York City system worked, so he could retire early. Like and that's so funny because now I'm like, okay, I got network marketing. So we
Right.
were both like making an income, but in a way that works for us.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I guess we are like kind of programmed from such a young age to
Yeah,
like,
I didn't think about it like that until now we're talking about this.
yeah. Well, I definitely want to break some things from my parents. No offense to
Yeah,
them.
no,
They're
of
lovely.
course. And
But
that
like,
isn't that like the American dream? It's like you just want to do better for your kids then.
yeah.
And that means there's a ton of things that
I
that
was
could
gonna
mean,
say
not just
better
financial.
is it's like that
Yeah.
rich analogy. Like some people think like rich and it's the travel and it's the luxury and it's the this, and other people are like living well below their means and on a farm wearing no shoes, like literally
Mm.
making their dinner from the ground. Like so it's choose your rich for
That's
sure.
the new
Choose your
American dream. Do you know that? Like owning having a compound and making sourdough and like that's the new American
I
dream.
was just talking to Ali about this yesterday. Like, that is the dream.
It
And
is.
especially as we grow our families, like, no, I'm not sure how I would ever manage a homestead. I don't think I'm fully fit
I
for
don't
that
even know
life,
what to do. I'm like,
but like,
wow.
sign me up.
Yeah, my family has been seriously talking about it for a long time. We have a location and it's in progress. So
Wow.
hopefully it
Keep me
works
in the
out.
loop. Maybe if there's room,
Yeah.
I'll build a
Oh
little
my God.
block.
Yeah. It would just be so nice because it's like you see all those videos now and it's like obviously romanticizing
Sure.
that lifestyle, but it's like living on a compound and it's like the dad is going from house to house, seeing what's for dinner at each house and getting to choose like the dinner he wants. And it's just like, yes, those are funny, but like it's hard work, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm
again,
not really a good
choose your
cook.
hard.
Yeah, like I just learned how to make sourdough. I'm not really a great cook, so like I don't know. I don't really like
Yeah.
to get dirty, so not
I
so sure how I do on a farm, and I hate hiking and I hate being outside unless it's 75 and sunny. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to do, but sounds good.
you'll make it work.
Yeah, it sounds fun. So I don't know. There's just no right answer when it comes to stay-at-home
Motherhood.
mom, working mom, motherhood,
Motherhood,
motherhood.
just umbrella.
Right. We're
But
just
yeah,
all
no,
doing the best we can
I agree. And I
and
guess
that's
I also just
yeah.
want to like give love to the working moms and to the
Same.
stay-at-home moms and to the moms who are like lost right now and don't know which direction to go.
You're not
Um,
alone.
you're not alone. And I mean, just there's a light somewhere. I don't know where, but there is a light and you'll get through it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of romanticizing that goes on social media. So even though people don't talk about how hard it is to be a working mom or how hard it is to be a stay-at-home mom, like trust me, it's there.
Yeah, I agree. Because I also have essentially done both, and you
Yeah.
too. And
Yeah. Which is cool.
it's,
We've both done both. Yeah, it's
yeah,
I even doing both. Like there was no like this is perfect. This is the perfect
yeah,
situation. There's no such thing.
there's good and
Like
bad to both, and good and
yeah.
bad to everything. Like, that's just the way it is. So you have to figure out which kind of works best for you.
Pros and cons lists. That's how I figured this out. A pros and
Yeah.
cons list.
I
And
feel
if
like
there was only
my,
like one extra con on one side, and I was like, well, all right.
I was just gonna say, I actually, right now, in this very moment, feel like all of my things are cons.
Well, that's
I'm
because
like,
your
oh
daughter's sick
no.
and like you're having a hard day. And
And I
that's
know, and
okay.
my nanny is so incredible. Like yesterday, spent the entire day like making home remedies. She did a simmer pot.
No.
She like is so incredible. But then like even like she sent me a picture so I could see Jules, and like that hurt.
Wherever
I was
she's
like,
moving, that's where you need to move.
yes. I'm like, oh, I know, seriously. But like even that though, and today I'm like, I'm so sorry if today's like a long day. And she's like, no, I'm sorry for you that you can't be here today. Like
What
it's
a
just
nice
it's
woman.
no, she's incredible.
Like she knows.
She's so incredible. Yeah. So I don't know. And then yeah, yeah.
I think you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you. I told you this morning when we spoke, and I'll reiterate it. I appreciate you, and sometimes we just need that little boost of confidence that like what
Yeah,
we're doing is okay and we're not a bad mom. And if you need a break, if you don't need a break, if you're home, if you're not home, like just love. If
right.
you are giving love whenever you can, that is what is most important for your little babe. So,
Absolutely. And appreciate your friends. That's what I
yes,
will say. I got a popsicle. I had a popsicle last night and it was super late at night, but the popsicle doesn't have a joke on it on the stick. It says, what did it say? I sent it to you. Appreciate your
recognize the
friends,
accomplishment.
recognize your friends' accomplishments. So I sent
Yes.
it to a few of my friends that I wanted to say, like, hey, and not only
Yeah.
mom friends, but like, hey, I see you. You're doing a great job because you know what?
So important.
It's hard. Life is hard. So just like
Yeah.
appreciate your friends and like all the wins. A promotion at work. They quit their job. They're just surviving the day. They got up and went to work today. Like, you know,
Mhm.
all the little things. You have to just appreciate your friends' accomplishments because they might be different than your goals, but they are
Right.
accomplishments. You know,
Right.
it's like my friend, she got up and went to work today. Proud of her. For
Yeah.
someone like, you know, for someone like you, other than today, that's easy.
Yeah.
But like, it's, you just have to appreciate your friends, and we're all just trying to get it together and make it work. And nobody has it all together. Don't
I
let
was
social
just gonna
media,
say,
do not let social media fool you.
day by day, I'm getting something else together as something else falls apart. So
Exactly.
we're grooving.
Yep. It's like walking with a handful of apples. You drop one, and you're like, let me pick that up. As you're picking it up, two more are falling down. That's what
I
motherhood
feel
feels
like
like.
there's so many analogies that I could give to motherhood and really just to adulthood, but like having a child only makes it a little bit different.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, no, for sure, the apples, there's a lot.
there is. And I feel like my sense of humor has gotten, I've become funnier.
It's how I cope.
Yes, 100%. I've become funnier because one, I don't care anymore
Yeah.
about what people think. And two, it's like if I'm not laughing, I'm crying.
Yeah. Yes. No, I one extreme or the other,
Yeah,
there's no in between.
right. And Mother's Day is coming up, so send your friends some a massage gift card, you know, offer to babysit.
Literally, come over and help fold the laundry.
Oh, what an amazing thing that would be.
Or just do the laundry. I don't really want to help. I want to just sit and
Right.
watch.
Right. I just would love to just sit there with my feet up and be like,
Although, do
that
you
one goes in
find,
that drawer.
I know we
Yeah.
should cut this, but I will add, I do find it hard to like, actually, I do know because we spoke about this with the dishes. Like, even if someone were to step in and to like help me,
Oh yeah. I don't want
not
them to.
only can I not sit back, but like I'll let them keep doing that. And now I'm going to move on to like the 10th thing on my to do list because like
Right.
I just can't sit. So maybe we all just need to sit for a little
Yeah. Yeah.
bit.
In my perfect world, I would be able to be in two places at once.
Yeah.
I'd be at work. I'd be at home with Vienna being 100% present. And then I'd be, actually, I need three. And then I'd be cleaning my house and doing laundry. So if I had three of me, I think
Yeah.
that might be enough.
Yep.
Maybe. But then who's going to shop for the groceries?
Wait, so talk about choosing your time wisely as a working mom. I, for the first time, did my food shopping online,
Oh,
which Mondays were my Trader Joe's days with Juliana. I love my Mondays at Trader Joe's. And honestly, yesterday was probably hard because we didn't have our usual routine.
aw.
Um, but it's little things like that, like just choosing your time wisely. Because if it wasn't for shopping online yesterday, either on Sunday, I would have had to gone shopping with Jules, which when I do that, I use her
Sunday
stroller.
shopping is wild.
I use her stroller as my cart and I basically pack in as much as I can underneath.
Yep.
Um, or she like has to go down for a nap or I get nap trapped or whatever. So I did find that the online shopping, while I felt a little less in control of picking my produce and, whatever,
Yeah.
and it hurt, it was worth it because I didn't lose that time or I didn't have to go after work and then fully miss like the bedtime routine. So
Right. So yeah, that's a good point. You have to choose your time
you just
wisely,
have
but
to
also like
figure it
choose what's
out.
actually important. There's ways.
Right. Right. So I mean, if you're struggling, like figure out if you can like outsource certain things, or like I know a lot of working moms have their meals like either prepped that they'll do on Sunday, or like literally buy packaged like prepared
Yeah,
meals.
those are
So
great.
it is. And while, it might have a different ingredient than you want, or maybe it's a little bit more expensive, it's all about like that time. Then you're not going home and having to immediately cook dinner. So
Yeah,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
have to do 3 hours of meal prep. Instead, you can spend that time with your
Right.
daughter or your
So these are
baby.
just all my thoughts because this is what I'm trying to figure out. So
This is
maybe
great.
meals, food shopping, just
Get a
getting
robot
yourself.
vacuum so you don't have to vacuum
I
anymore.
think I enjoy vacuuming. It's like
Me
oddly
too.
therapeutic. And
I
we got
honestly,
Jules
I
like the
love it.
matching Dyson. So it
Oh,
looks the
I love
same.
it.
So now it's like a hobby, but yes.
So
Uh,
cute.
yeah.
Well,
But
I
that's
think you're
it.
doing a great job. And this, I think we
Thank
covered
you.
a lot of good stuff here. And hopefully you can relate to one of us because we both have a little bit of a different situation. And if you're a work from home mom, I'd like to hear from you. Comment on this podcast. I'd love to know what that's like because
Yeah,
I
and if you
can't
have any tips
imagine.
for me
Yeah,
of how to
tips,
like
tricks.
get acclimated or just make my life feel easier, help.
Yeah. Send some love to Carly and
And you
tips.
stay at home moms, you keep doing what you got to do. Fill that coffee cup up and just go pee in silence. That's what I got for you. So
That's the goal for today. I still
pee
have a
in
cold coffee.
silence.
It is about 1 o'clock. I have a cold coffee on the counter. I gotta go put in the microwave.
Freeze coffee as cubes. And when you get to that point, just throw those frozen coffee cubes in it. And it's like
Yeah.
such a good iced coffee.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do that. I'm gonna do
And
that.
the good thing is you can let it sit for like another hour or two, like forget about it, and it won't get watered down.
Right, because now it's melting coffee.
Right.
Genius.
I know.
Genius. So you're meant to be a stay-at-home mom.
I know.
I'm just
We'll
playing.
get there. We'll get there. But yeah,
You
no.
got this.
Go freeze your coffee cubes. Guys, we love you. We appreciate you. And we see you. And you're not alone. So
Absolutely.
go have a kick-ass day, whether you have a few more hours left at work or at home. But no matter what, it's a good day to have a good day.
Oh, so cute. That is good. All right, thanks for
Love
listening.
you. See you
Love
guys
you.
later.
Bye.
Bye.